All right, what's happening, everyone? Another session of Malt Reviews. That's Mikey as usual, and I'm Narbe.
What's up, guys?
Gonna be doing another Dalmore here. We have a sample. We don't own a full bottle of this, so we're gonna be doing the Dalmore King Alexander III. This is now getting kind of towards the higher range of Dalmore now. Again, this bottle is, depending on where you're looking, in the UK around $160, $70. In the United States, anywhere from $210 to $270. Just kind of depends on where you're looking, but quite a few people, if they want to acquire this bottle, they're spending over $200. So it definitely qualifies as a higher end product. No age statement on this. It's bottled at 40% ABV. Again, as we've talked about in a couple of our other Dalmore reviews, when we know there is colorant added to the whiskey, what is the point of talking about the color? But I guess we'll show you guys the color anyways. I don't have the information on how much colorant they're adding to which one of their whiskeys. I just know that Dalmore does add colorant to their whiskeys to make it look like this beautiful color. And we'll just focus on the nose and the palate. On the nose. This is definitely a fuller experience, richer experience compared to the 12 and 18-year-old right off the bat. Dark orange, almost like a blood orange richness, really, really rich orange flavor that's been staying consistent with all the Dalmores, whether we've done the 12, the 18, the King Alexander, the 21, the 25, the 50. Those are the ones we've reviewed, and all of them have kind of stayed with that theme of either light citrus orange, medium-ish to kind of dark. Now this one is a dark, rich orange, almost like a blood orange.
Yeah. So this is like a different experience from the 12 and 18. So there are similar notes. The mandarin orange, like Narbe said, that fresh rubber we talked about, suggesting peat. Some nice extra smoke and richer oak to it, and that lemon waxy wood polish, like an older Port Ellen. But it's richer and fuller, and it's more complex, and definitely the different oak elements are coming through a lot more. And I'm still getting really powerful tropical fruits. Like, obviously on the forefront is definitely lemon and orange, but I'm getting like some crazy, like even some mangoes and some salted kiwis, some salted kumquats, some star fruits, some very exotic fruits as well. Way stronger and way more than the 12 and the 18.
Yeah, it's got a nutty flavor to it as well. Kind of some almonds and cashews. It's got a nice dark chocolate element to it, a rich dark chocolate. Now, once you get into this King Alexander, it's not where the 18-year-old suggested some very, very light sweet milk chocolate. This one has a rich, full flavored dark chocolateness to it. And it's actually nosing, suggesting that this is almost more like a 46 to 48% ABV, even though it's only 40%. On the nose, blindly, I would probably think it's closer to 46. It's very rich and very full. It's got some apple and peach and kumquat, like Mike said. Yeah, it's even got hints of toffee and caramel in there as well. It's actually very, very nice. And to be honest with you, I'm not getting as much of the rubbery and waxiness that you were suggesting maybe in the beginning when it was first poured. But as it's been breathing, I'm not getting too much of the waxy rubberiness. Where with the 12-year-old, I was getting some good amount of that. At least when it was an older release of the 12-year-old, um, but I'm not getting too much of this. We like to kind of compare the whiskeys in the range, so we're referring back to 18-year-old, we're referring back to the 12-year-old. We like to kind of relate the range just to kind of give you guys an idea of how they relate and how they differ. So if you're kind of trying to decide on whether you want to kind of, if you've tried one and you want to decide if you want to upgrade or go with the lower range, you just kind of get an idea of what's what. But overall, on the nose, I like this quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely attacking the nutty element. It's attacking the fruity element. It's attacking some of the dessert elements. So it's kind of giving you a few different elements here, and then it's doing it all in a full way. It's not just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's very full and it's very rich. And when you're spending a lot of money on a whiskey, that's what you kind of expect.
Yeah, at first I was a little worried about the 40%, but and who knows how old everything is in here. There's no age statement, but it definitely noses so far stronger than 40%. It's very satisfactory.
Palate?
Let's do it.
Not sure how we're gonna be. It's repetitive. It's citrus fruits. It's orange. It's lemon. It's vanilla. It's chocolate. It's a touch of that sweet dessert, caramel-like, toffee-like kind of flavor, but that dark chocolate, the oak play, and the note. At least on first sip, the nose suggested that it would be a little richer, like that blood orange. I really wanted that like rich blood orange on the palate, but it's just kind of an orange, and then that rich nutty element, that almond, that cashew. I wanted that to just kind of really be there on the palate, and it's just kind of there. And here's, if you want to take the Dalmore 12, you want to take the Dalmore 18, and you want to take this King Alexander, they're good, but they just don't differ so much. Like, it's not that different. I would definitely say this is my favorite out of those three, but they just don't differ enough. Like, I'm expecting one to be like an entry-level product and one to be quite a bit more than that, and then the other one to be even more so than that. So you naturally you're expecting a little bit more, and that's what it's left me with. With the 12-year-old, with it not being very expensive product, like, okay, I'm cool with it. Once it gets to the 18, it's like, no, I don't want to spend this much money on this. There's much, much better stuff for less money. And then again, you go to the King Alexander, and I'm kind of getting that same thing. On the nose, I was a little happier, but on the palate, again, it's just kind of, I'm not getting that much of a difference. So it's kind of like, I don't know, like, do I just don't really want to spend the money on it, and then to own the range, I certainly don't want to spend the money on owning all the different bottles in the range. They're just kind of similar. For me, once you get to the 25-year-old, and we've reviewed the 25-year-old, that's when it really starts happening. But that's depending on where you live, that's between $800 and $1,000 a bottle. So now you're having to pay an extreme amount to get to where it's really enjoyable. The finish on this is medium-ish. Everything just kind of stays there for a little bit and then it just kind of slowly disappears. So it's good. They're all good. But again, you get left with wanting a little bit more and expecting a little bit more with the reputation and big name that Dalmore has. How do you feel, Mike, on the palate?
Yeah, no, I feel very similar, and I suspect that a lot of it is that they start with great casks, great cask management, but they dilute it just too much. So, like I keep saying, Springbank, I would love to try the whole Dalmore range at 46 to 48%. Even though they're obviously mixing a ton of different casks, they have a lot of control over what they're doing. I would just love a little more oomph because there's so many good notes in here, but they end up getting tapered down.
If I could make a guess, and this is purely a guess, when they're designing these whiskeys, at least up until this range, I feel like they're just really trying to please the masses. Like on the nose,
oh yeah,
this is really nice. This is suggesting like I'm gonna get so much going with so much richness and fullness and yumminess on the palate. And there is some of that. It's just not nearly as much as the nose is suggesting. So it's giving you this beautiful nose, very clean, fresh, and full with no alcohol. And then on the palate, it's kind of easy going. It kind of eases out on the palate. And I can't help but to think that when Richard Patterson is designing these whiskeys, that they're just trying to please the masses. And what I mean by the masses is most whiskey enthusiasts aren't looking for this, but in general, for most people, what are they looking for? Does it go down easy? Is it smooth? Is there any alcohol burn? I don't think your average drinker is looking for that fullness of flavor. Of course, a whiskey enthusiast and someone who's really into whiskey is. Their palate is trained and they've been exposed and they've been drinking for a while, and after a while you start seeking that. But it feels like Dalmore, a lot of these Dalmores aren't made for those kind of drinkers, right? Like almost for like
right.
the general public rather than that whiskey enthusiast who's really into drinking fine spirits and is seeking that next level. And I feel like Dalmore does that more with their higher range products and not with their low to mid range products.
Well, what's interesting is how if you look at Dalmore 12, 18, even King Alexander, they're all very similar. They're so consistent because they have so much design apparently over the profile. They're so similar, so consistent versus like when we had Dalmore 1974, Dalmore 25, a little higher range, obviously Dalmore 50. They have some similar elements, but they're still their own thing. They're still in their own way extremely unique. Like I'm just going back to this, there's so much Dalmore 12 in here, just at a higher level. So it's almost like they're creating a base profile and then just like price pointing it, how quality they want to go up. Mm-hmm. There's so many similar elements in this.
And to be fair, we obviously realize most people don't get to drink the Dalmore 25 and the Dalmore 50 yet alone. So, but a lot of you will get a chance to drink the standard range up to this range. So forgive us for kind of comparing it to the 25 and 50 or whatever, all the higher, super high-end range ones. But since we have reviewed those and you guys have seen us try those, we will kind of use those as an example as well. But overall, I can't imagine myself spending this kind of money on this whiskey. If it's being offered to me, if it's on the table, I would gladly enjoy it. It's very good. But for me, this is 85 out of 100.
85 as well.
Yeah.
On the dot.
All right, you guys. So that's kind of where we're left there. By the way, we recorded the 12, 18, and this King Alexander back to back to back. So We'll probably release them in the same similar way. So,
Yep.
so we just recorded all three. So that's why we couldn't help ourselves also, but to really compare them since we drank them all within about an hour. So we'll see you guys soon for another malt review. Hope you guys like. Click the like button if you did like it. If you don't like it, click the thumbs down. And we'll see you guys soon. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.